Welcome to the Airbnb Roadmap, the podcast designed to navigate you through the entire journey of short-term rental success. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your hosting game to the next level. My husband and I became super hosts within just months of launching our first Airbnb and have proudly kept that title ever since. With over 350 reviews and an overall 4.95 star ratings, we picked up a hack or two I'm excited to share with you. In each episode, I break down the strategies, insights, and industry secrets that set profitable short-term rentals apart. From choosing the right property, understanding local regulations, and obtaining your listing to go beyond just the basics. I'm here to share everything you need to succeed. So if you're ready to map out your path to Airbnb success and unlock the full potential of short-term rentals, join me on the Airbnb Roadmap. Your journey starts here. Hey, I'm Brittany Wenninger with From Porch Realty, powered by Real Broker LLC, and welcome back to another episode of the Airbnb Roadmap podcast. Life update, as always. Well, I feel like short-term rental guests have been putting me through a ringer the past week, and I swear when it rains it pours. Like, I feel like that Clay and I have kind of had a lot of issues with a lot of our properties lately, and it's nothing that like we have actually done. For example, that dishwasher shenanigans that you heard last week, well, now there is, Home Depot had to file a claim because there was property damage, and like literally the property damage is like not that much. It's just like moisture underneath the sink. But because of that, now they have to have a assessor go there and then look at the damages themselves. And then we also have to have a contractor and say like how much it's going to cost to replace it with like honestly, it's to replace the wood underneath the sink. Not that much. But they have to go through all of this process to pay for the plumber invoice, which was an arm and leg, let me tell you. Especially because it was like an emergency thing. So that's been awesome. Also, like, we have just had like not crappy guests like in the terms of damaging the properties, but just kind of like rude guests. So I had this one guy, and this is just kind of comical. So I'm just going to be reading this straight from the phone. So right when a guest does a booking, that is when the auto message from Hospitable will go out. Hospitable is our property management software, and we have been using them since like day one. Absolutely amazing. I love Hospitable. And if you guys want like a discount for that, let me know. That is in the show notes about the discount. But anyways, so this guy booked and my auto message went out, and in my auto message it does say your reservation begins on Sunday, February 22nd for one night with 4 people, and checkout being on Monday. So this happened on February 8th. So it's February, well, right now I'm recording is February 20th. So it happened a while ago. And then I did another auto message saying, hey, beep, it would be my pleasure to welcome you on Sunday at blah, 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 blah. So again, saying the dates once again. He messaged saying, oh no, this reservation was supposed to be for Saturday. I don't know how I got that wrong. I saw that the cancellation date was Tuesday. So obviously I'm seeing that it's non-refundable for this date. Being a host myself, I get it. It's supposed to be for my son's birthday and he's 16. So I can't really switch his day to Sunday because they have school on Monday. So he sent that at 3:17. And then he sent another message right away saying, I'm not sure if I can really use this reservation. Then he sent another message, third message in a row. Probably not. I have work Monday as well. Then he sends the fourth message. And I was like, all this is in like a 30-minute time frame. Like, I have work too. I'm sorry, I can't get to this. Like, I'm sorry. But anyways, I'm really not sure what happened. As I'm looking back, I see that I searched for 21 through 22, not 22 through 23. And then he sends me a screenshot of like his recent searches, which he could like 100% just do it right away and then take a screenshot. So that meant nothing to me. And then another message. It must have caught my eye in the available for similar dates bar that's in the middle of the results, which is a terrible place to put it. Gah. So, literally did not respond for 30 minutes. I finally did because, got off my meeting call. So, like, yeah, here we are. And I said, hello, you can go ahead and cancel and we will refund you for half of the cleaning since that is what our cleaner charges us for last minute cancellations. So, throwing him a solid, saying like, hey, we don't owe you anything, but I will give you half the amount because, cleaning people and all their fees and all that good jazz, which I'm not saying is bad. Like, they have a business too. I get it. And then he starts getting nasty with me. This is when it gets fun. To be fair, I employ a cleaner for my rental, and I know they aren't going to get paid any fee for a cancellation 4 days before they have to clean it. How much is the cleaning fee? I don't see the breakdown on my receipt. No shit. Because guess what? Airbnb change. If you're a host, you know that. Anyways, I said 175. Honestly, if you don't want to refund the entire cleaning fee, then I'll probably just keep the reservation and I hope that I can use it. It at least gives me the chance to leave a review. Otherwise, if I cancel, you can still re-rent it and I'm left holding the bag and probably a little disappointed. I understand your position completely as I have had to make difficult decisions like this. So, my response saying, if you would like to keep your reservation, you absolutely can. What you do with your reservation is completely up to you. And then I carried on with the auto messages saying like, I have a check-in instructions. So it said, hi, beep. It would be my pleasure to welcome you on Sunday, blah, 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 blah. And that's an auto message, but I thought it was funny because it was like, it would be my pleasure to welcome you on Sunday. But anyways, in that message, he clearly stated that he's going to keep the reservation just so he can write me a review, a bad review. So when you think about this, what is that person doing? Like, what is their motive? What is their next step? And that kind of brings me into today's episode is being proactive versus reactive. A lot of hosts are always stressed out because they are being reactive to putting out fires and making sure that the guests are, absolutely happy with their stay. But if you are being proactive, you don't have to have that stress. So when even Clay came home the other day, he was like, what is happening with this guest? I'm like, don't worry about it, babe. Like, I got this. Kind of like acting like a boss, like, I got this. Well, what I did was I actually called Airbnb and I said, hey, I'm actually really nervous about this guest because he is being extremely rude in the message thread. He said that he can't show up on Sunday. I offered him a little bit of a refund. And he pretty much said, like, if I don't refund him the whole thing, then I'm not going to cancel because I'm going to leave you a bad review. Like, that's literally exactly what he said. So Airbnb actually saw that and they legit was like, oh, wow, like, I totally get what you're saying, which is funny because this guy is a super host himself with one property. I looked up the property and it like the property is, I think it was a condo with Goodwill furniture. Like, sorry, like I'm not trying to be like I have a lot more experience than you, but every single cleaner is different. And he was like, I know cleaners don't do that. It's like, dude, you probably only employed one cleaner in your whole life. Like, there are so many different ways that cleaners go about their business. But anyways, getting back to it, called Airbnb. Airbnb was like, yep, I totally understand why you'd be nervous. I will make a note on your account that if this guy leaves you a bad review, we will just take it off, because we see that there is enough evidence in this message thread that he is just using the bad review mark to try to get money off of the state, and the state is non-refundable, hence your cancellation policy. So there is now a note on that reservation saying, if he's going to leave a bad review, Airbnb already promised that they will take that off. And does he know that? No. So yeah, come at me. Like, keep the reservation and then leave that bad review, because I'm just going to get it off right away. But also, Airbnb also said, like, you can still leave him a review as well. Hint, hint. And I was like, thank you, because I probably will. And I have probably left one or maybe even two negative reviews on guests. Like, I just don't do that. I think karma's a bitch. Like, I just don't want to do that for people. So am I going to leave them like a 1-star review? No, like, that's just super me. I'm probably going to leave them like a 3 or 4 and just say, like, he threatened to leave a bad review. He would not cancel his reservation, even though he know that he can't make it. And he was just a very rude person. Like, that's probably what I'm going to say. Do I love doing that? No, but like, if you are threatening me in my business, like, no, like, I'm sorry, but it's going to bite you in the ass overall. So I may be overreacting for all of this. Like, I get it. I will admit, like, hormones are kind of going through me right now. But, the fact that he would not cancel and legit said, I don't want to cancel because I want to leave you a review. Like, sorry, but like, whatever. So another thing is about being proactive is the dishwasher situation. Oh my gosh. We never had a guest that was like pissed off about it or, was disrespectful about it until this morning. And I swear, like, Airbnb guests are challenging me. So I was very proactive when it came to this dishwasher. I left a thank you card on the countertop saying, like, hey, the dishwasher broke. I'm so sorry. We are getting a new one. Probably not going to come for 2 weeks. I also bought a lot of paper plates for people to use if they don't want to wash their own dishes. Like, I get it. So I left a lot of paper plates, paper bowls for guests to use. Like, I thought that was very nice of me. And kind of like going a little bit above and beyond, because I could have just been like, sorry, you're SOL. Well, everyone's been responding to that very nicely, except for one guest. He messaged, and I think I'm just using this episode as kind of like a venting, to be honest. So he was asking a lot of questions about just like the house overall after you checked in. Like, is there a surround sound in the room? No, sorry, like, there's no surround sound. Where is the movie theater? It's in the house, like, it's in the lower level. It's a big bedroom. Like, you can't really miss it. I didn't say that, but I was very respectful and replied back. I also said if you use a popcorn maker, you'll have to clean the machine as well. Just a reminder, because people are forgetting, and there is a $50 charge if we do see that it's dirty. So he didn't acknowledge that, but then at 9:30, he was trying to figure out how to lock the front door, like the keypad on my end. Well, I go to bed at 9, so I couldn't respond. So in the morning I said, hey, sorry, didn't get to this last night. I go to bed at 9 since I wake up at 5 for work. Let me know if you still need help troubleshooting on my end. It does say that you just kept on putting in the wrong code. The code is blah, blah, blah. And then he says, corner of the kitchen. Is it a dishwasher? Like, huh? I was very confused because, like, open up the cabinet. You're going to realize it's not a dishwasher. So then I told him there's a note explaining that our dishwasher broke a couple days ago, so we are getting a new one. The dishwasher used to be in the area that is empty next to the sink. I provided paper plates and whatnot if you didn't want to hand wash your dishes. And he said, then I'll put it in the sink for you. No dishwasher found. Yes, I just told you that there was no dishwasher. But anyways, carrying on. Part of our checkout instructions is to clean all the dishes and put them back. Please do so before leaving. Thank you, with a little smiley face. The dishwasher is gone. I can't wash the dishes. We use a lot of paper plates. They were only there for one night, so like I really hope that they didn't like go through my whole stack, low-key. But anyways, but I still need some other plates. But the dishwasher broke. It's not my problem. My house should have a dishwasher. That one got me heated. So I said, I'm sorry, beep, but I can't control the time for the new dishwasher to arrive. If the lack of dishwasher is going to impact your stay, then you can just leave the dirty dishes. So again, Airbnb guests are testing me because I was very proactive and left a thank you note, left a lot of paper plates, and said like, hey, sorry, like here's the situation. Hope that you can understand. This guy was not having it. So part of being, again, more proactive is every single booking, we put like a thank you for leaving the place so clean. I will leave you a 5-star review if you could review us as well, blah, blah, blah. I make sure to delete that so that is not being sent to him because I have a feeling that he's probably going to write like a 4-star review and say, no dishwasher. Even though I totally like said that in the listing description, saying that our dishwasher is broken, it's going to come at the end of the month. And then I also provided paper plates, which are not cheap, by the way. So again, it's one of those things that like being proactive, it definitely saves your sanity. It saves your stress, especially for that first situation, because now I know that like when he does leave a bad review, I'll just take it off, whatever. Like I'm not stressed out about that. The second person though, that one I don't know really what I'm going to do at this point. We'll see if he does leave me a review. And then if it is bad, I'm probably going to call Airbnb and say like, hey, like I took all these measures to make sure that like our guests have the best experience. Unfortunately, he was not like wanting to do the dishes and I just told him to leave it. And unfortunately, our cleaner had to do it. So we will see what Airbnb says about that and if they will take that review off. But for that first one, like, sorry, but I was proactive and I made sure that your review will come off. Now, since we are on the topic of reviews, it is also highly advised that if you know that a guest did have a very, and I don't want to say like very negative experience, it takes a lot for a guest to have a negative experience. But when you see that the guest is just constantly like messaging you with questions and you're like, oh shoot, like, no, this is like, we don't have any scissors there, or oh, sorry, this is broken, or oh, you can't find the ping pong ball, like, I'm sorry. Like, if you see that guest keeps on texting you that stuff, it might be a really good idea. And I know that like money's money, but it might be a good idea to say, like, hey, guest, I am so sorry that you have experienced all of this stuff. This is great to know. I will order all this right away. And I'm sorry that if I did order it tonight, unfortunately, won't get to you for 2 days because of Amazon. Like, I apologize. Here is a $50 refund on your stay, or $75 or $100 refund on your stay. I have found that by refunding people money, they're just happy right away. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That really meant a lot. Like, that meant a lot that you are actually being proactive and coming up with a solution to the problems and not actually just ignoring them and say, hey, sorry, it is what it is. The hosts that do this are the hosts that consistently get 5-star reviews and their listing goes up in that list on Airbnb, which ultimately means more bookings. So yes, it may sound like that you are giving up $100 on your stay, but the actual reward of you giving up that $100 is way greater than that $100 in my eyes. Now, it does not guarantee that you will get that 5-star review, but it's definitely saying like, "Hey guests, I am so sorry that you are experiencing all of this stuff. Hopefully, you will pay me back by that 5-star review." Obviously, you can't really say that, but it's kind of it and steers them in that direction. Reviews matter the most with Airbnb and Vrbo and all that stuff, or all the platforms. And I think that's like, I am just so I'm honestly, I'm very over reviews, very over it. I wish that our society never came up with reviews. And thank you for that one tire. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Michelin, the Michelin tires. They are the original people that came up with reviews. How wild is that? A tire company came up with reviews. They are the OG people. And this is like a really quick like history lesson for you. But Michelin star for restaurants. The name Michelin is actually from the Michelin tires because they realized that not a lot of people were driving their cars. At the time, it was like 1920 or something like that. Not a lot of people were driving their cars because it was really expensive. But they actually made this black book, black or red, I can't remember, book saying like, hey, this restaurant has a star, quote unquote star. And what that means is that this restaurant is very good. So people were reading that in this black book or red or whatever color it is and driving to those locations. Well, that meant more miles on the tires, and then people would buy more tires. That is the start of reviews, is from a Michelin tire company. Now, Google came into play. Google My Business came into play. Reviews matter. And now, obviously, Airbnb has that. Vrbo, like all these platforms have it. So now everyone's success is based off of these reviews. And what that means is sometimes you have to buy your way to a 5-star review, unfortunately, aka giving someone a $50 refund or 75 or 100 or 150 or whatever it may be, just to guarantee that you will still get, and it's not even a guarantee, just to steer that guest into giving you that 5-star review. So that is how important reviews are, and being actually proactive. And if you know that you don't have any more ping pong balls or something like that, see if you can order it online and get it to that house right away. We had another guest. I don't like fans. I don't know why. And it's not even fans. I don't like exhaust fans, like over the hood, like loud noise. I don't like that. So I never really think about this. But a lot of people can't sleep if there is just pure silence. They need that white noise. So we had a guest that was like, "Is there a fan in the house?" And I was like, "Ooh, sorry." Like, never even thought about that. I went on Amazon. I got it to the house. Unfortunately, they like just checked out. I was hoping that Amazon would be coming in clutch and delivering it way sooner than they promised. But I said, "Hey, guests, I just ordered a fan for you. Hopefully, it'll come in time. I'm so sorry." But by me just like taking that action and being proactive and ordering that fan for her meant the world. Like, she was very thankful. She was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, that means a lot that you actually promise, or not even promise, but like you actually took action on my request." And that is being proactive instead of, if I didn't do that and I just said, "Nope, sorry," and then she might have left a 4-star review because she would have been like, "No fan is at the location," like 4-star instead of 5-star. So being proactive will save you so much. And I always think of it as, okay, this guest is upset or they are saying this for a reason. If I was this guest, if I was in their shoes, what route would I be? So the guest that was like, "Hey, I'm going to stay," or I'm not going to cancel because I want to leave you a review. I knew right away it was going to be a bad review. So then I called Airbnb. Or actually, like, another part that I'm kind of nervous about is that he would actually show up and damage our property. So I'm actually having the cleaner take a photo of every single room. So there is a timestamp on there showing, everyone that, hey, this is how we left it, and this is the damage that this guest did. It would be very, very stupid of him to actually do this because he is a super host and a host on Airbnb. And who do you think Airbnb is going to take sides with? Like, you damaged my property. I think Airbnb already is on my side for this one. So that's another reason, like another way that we're being proactive is we are taking photos of all of this stuff. So then if he does actually show up, creates damage, we have proof. So proof is everything. And if any guest calls you and they are very upset or anything like that, I would just simply say like, hey, I only communicate through Airbnb. Sorry, that's just what I'm comfortable with. And then that way there is a text thread so Airbnb can review all this stuff and then help you, handle the situation. I do that all the time. I really try not to text guests from my personal phone if they booked through Airbnb or Vrbo. I always like to stay in the thread because then that's evidence of like, hey, this is happening. Let's figure out a solution together and then act on that right away. So it definitely is less stressful when you already have a game plan of this is what's going to happen if this guest does either A, B, or C. Like, these are what the routes will be. And that just, I'm a plans person. I like to have a plan and action for everything. So that just makes it very less stressful for me instead of waiting for that guest to actually go that route and then being reactive and try to make everything better. So yeah, today's episode is half me venting about Airbnb guests lately, and not even like Airbnb guests, just like guests overall lately. And then also giving some tips and tricks on how to be proactive. And at the end of the day, like Vrbo and Airbnb and Booking.com, like their customer service is a customer service at the end of the day. They are here to help you. And half the time, people are afraid to call them and say like, hey, I need your help. But that is what they are there for. And sometimes they might not take your side and they might take the guest side. Yeah, that's kind of crappy, but it's also, if you were in the guest shoes, you would probably be doing the same thing. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, let me know. I don't know why I'm like winded. I literally I ran, I think is a 3K, which is, no, it's 5K. 5K sounds way better than I ran 3 miles this morning. But I used to run a lot, I think when I was like 25. I'm not 25 anymore. And my body's telling me that. And I think like all throughout this day, I've been like winded. And I'm blaming it on me running a 5K this morning. So sorry if I sounded winded. But I will see you next week in the Airbnb Roadmap podcast. Thanks for joining me on the Airbnb Roadmap. If you're loving these episodes and want to keep the conversation going, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who's ready to dive into the world of short-term rentals. Got a question or topic you would love to hear about? Reach out. This podcast is all about learning and growing together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast, for more tips, tricks, and behind-the-scene insights. Until next time, here's to turning your short-term rental dreams into thriving realities. I'll see you back here soon.